Hey everybody, welcome. I know if you're a normal listener of ours, you're expecting Brian and myself to be on here for our Wednesday show, but we had technical difficulties. We bagged that, and I'm just going to do a quick little version of what was in the news this morning. So here we are, end of September. Kids have been in school about a month. Temperatures starting to change just a little bit. Cooler mornings, not cold. And coughs and colds starting. We're approaching, this is over and above COVID, we're approaching flu season again, cough and cold season, and the kids are in school and the kiddies are coming home with a cough, sore throat. Don't feel good, mommy. So you call the pediatrician. He calls in amoxicillin, the most commonly prescribed antibiotic in the United States. And you take it, and you give it to your child, and after 5 or 6 days, they feel better. You say, oh, the amoxicillin worked. Or was it just the 5 or 6 days that did something? The largest trial ever, a randomized placebo-controlled trial of the antibiotic amoxicillin for treating chest infections in children. One of the most common acute illnesses treated in primary care has found it is little more effective at relieving symptoms than the use of no medication. It was no more effective at relieving symptoms than using no medication. Let me say that again. It was not effective at taking care of symptoms at all. A study published in the journal Lancet, funded by the National Institutes of Health Research, was led by researchers from the University of Southampton and supported by the University of Bristol, Oxford, and Cardiff. Although viruses are believed to cause many of these infections in children, whether or not antibiotics are beneficial in the treatment of chest infections for children is still debated. It's still, after all of the studies that have come out over the years, still the most commonly prescribed antibiotic. The researchers sought to test whether amoxicillin reduces the duration of moderately bad symptoms of children presenting with uncomplicated, non-pneumonic, they don't have pneumonia, lower respiratory tract infections in primary care. The trial recruited 432 children aged 6 months to 12 years of age with acute uncomplicated chest infections from primary care practices in England and Wales, who were then randomly assigned to receive either amoxicillin or a placebo 3 times a day for 7 days. Doctors or nurse practitioners assessed symptoms at the start of the study, and the parents, with the help of the children where possible, completed a daily symptom diary. Only a small, non-significant difference in the duration of symptoms were reported between the two groups. Children given the placebo had symptoms which were rated moderately bad or worse for around 6 days on average after seeing the doctor. And those given antibiotics got better only 13% quicker. Furthermore, this was true even for the group of children where the doctors heard sounds in the chest. The child had a fever, where the doctor rated the child as more unwell. The child coughed up phlegm, had a rattly chest, or the child was short of breath. It made no difference. Just 4 children in the placebo group and 5 in the antibiotic group required further assessment at the hospital. The cost to parents, such as the time needed to be off work or the cost of the over-the-counter remedies, was similar for both groups. Paul Little, professor of primary care research at the University of Southampton, the study's lead author, said this, quote, children given amoxicillin for chest infections where the doctor does not think the child has pneumonia do not recover much more quickly. Indeed, using amoxicillin to treat chest infections in children not suspected of having pneumonia is not likely to help, and listen up folks, and could actually be harmful. Overuse of antibiotics, which is dominated by prescribing antibiotics in primary care, particularly when they are ineffective, can lead to side effects in the development of antibiotic resistance. Antibiotic resistance is one of the biggest threats to the health public, and the future could make much of what is currently routine medical practice very difficult or impossible, such as having surgical complications or supporting people who are being treated for cancer. where they do use amoxicillin. Alistair Hay, a general practitioner and professor of primary care at the University of Bristol Center for Academic Primary Care, one of the study's co-authors, said, quote, "This trial is one of the few studies to report on the effectiveness of prescribing antibiotics among younger children presenting with chest infections in primary care. It was designed to be able to detect a clinically important 3-day improvement in symptom duration. We didn't find it. Our results suggest that unless pneumonia is suspected, clinicians should provide safety netting advice such as explaining what illness course to expect and when it would be necessary to reattend, but not to prescribe antibiotics for most children presenting with chest infections." Published in Journal of Lancet, September 28th, yesterday. You want to look it up? Go ahead. But again, it comes down to the point of parents, if you don't have to, don't. Don't go screaming to your doctor and asking him to prescribe for you. Let it go. Let it go. Use some supportive protocols. You have some elderberry syrup on hand? It's wonderful. Antimucolytic. We carry that in the office. You have your child on buffered vitamin C? I don't know how many times I have to scream and yell about that. Up to a full teaspoon a day in some juice. Amazingly high in stabilization. Do you have your child on vitamin D? Need help dosing that? Give us a call. We're going to start promoting again our winter immune protocol. We have it available for you at the office. Just call 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900, and let's get the kids healthy. Let's get them strong. Let's get them where they need to. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Don't go screaming for amoxicillin. The number to reach us again in the office, 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. Please share the show with others, would you please? We're also available on a myriad of platforms right now, including Alexa. So you can go there and ask to listen to your daily dose with Dr. Len and see what comes up. All right. God bless you, folks. Have a great, healthy day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.